Have you ever felt a strong sense of pride in your home state, as if it were a part of who you are? Maybe you have told friends and family about the good life you believe it offers, pointing to its character, culture, or natural beauty. Or perhaps you have felt the opposite, a quiet frustration that makes you hesitant to speak too openly about its flaws. A map, a nickname, or a travel brochure only captures the surface. What really defines a place are the people who wake up there every day, who go to work, raise families, pay the bills, and live through the challenges. They are the ones who know the real story. We see plenty of lists ranking states by job growth, income, or tax rates. But what about the human element? What about how people actually feel about their own states? That is what makes this countdown different. It draws from resident sentiment and lived experience, looking past the slogans and tourism ads to see where people are least likely to recommend living. These states each have their strengths and their loyal residents, but they also face challenges that lead many locals to quietly admit, this is not an easy place to call home. In this list at number 15 is Oklahoma. Known for its friendly people and wide open spaces, Oklahoma offers a warm sense of community, but living here also means dealing with severe weather as part of daily life. The state sits right in the heart of Tornado Alley, where residents face frequent threats from tornadoes, hailstorms, and damaging winds. Insurance costs and repairs become part of the rhythm of life. Economically, Oklahoma struggles with high poverty rates and a reliance on industries that are vulnerable to downturns, leaving fewer diverse opportunities. For locals, the pride in community often clashes with the unease of unpredictable skies and financial instability, making it harder to recommend their state to newcomers. At number 14 is Arkansas. The nickname, the natural state, highlights its stunning landscapes and abundant forests. But the economic realities tell a different story. Arkansas consistently ranks near the bottom in household income, and its poverty rate is higher than the national average. Many residents describe limited job opportunities, especially outside major cities. For young people and professionals, the lack of career prospects often pushes them to leave in search of better futures. High crime in certain areas only adds to the challenges. While locals love their state's natural beauty, they recognize that the systemic issues of poverty, low wages, and safety concerns weigh heavily on quality of life. Number 13 on the list is Alabama. Alabama is rich in culture, history, and tradition, but its ongoing struggles are hard to ignore. Poverty remains high, healthcare access is limited, and outcomes in education and public health rank among the lowest in the nation. Residents face significant barriers in areas such as preventative healthcare and opportunities for upward mobility. For many, these challenges overshadow the warmth and community spirit they feel at home. It creates a push and pull. People love the roots they have there, yet admit that the barriers to progress make Alabama a hard place to recommend to outsiders. At number 12, we find Kentucky. With rolling hills, bourbon country, and horse racing, Kentucky has a rich cultural identity. Yet residents face significant economic challenges as wages are low and the poverty rate is well above average. Surveys consistently place Kentucky near the bottom when it comes to overall well-being, health, and life satisfaction. Issues such as obesity, smoking-related illnesses, and lack of access to high-quality medical care weigh heavily on daily life. Locals are proud of their traditions, but many are realistic about the uphill battles that come with living there, making them hesitant to encourage others to move in. In the 11th spot is West Virginia. Known for its beautiful mountains and outdoor opportunities, West Virginia also symbolizes the struggles of an economy in transition. Once dependent on coal, the state has not fully adapted to new industries, leaving fewer job opportunities for its people. Young residents often leave for better prospects elsewhere, and the state's population continues to decline. Poverty rates are high, healthcare outcomes are poor, and overall well-being ranks among the lowest in the nation. While the scenery is breathtaking, many residents admit that life in West Virginia can feel isolating and limited in opportunities, discouraging them from recommending it to others. Coming in at number 10 is New Mexico. The state offers stunning landscapes, a unique cultural blend, and deep history. But the reality is that poverty remains one of the highest in the country. Opportunities are limited, especially in rural areas, and many young people feel they must move away to build stable careers. Crime is also a concern in some parts of the state, adding to residents' frustrations. People value the cultural richness of New Mexico, but many locals quietly acknowledge that without significant improvements in economic opportunity and safety, it is not the easiest place to build a secure future. Number 9 on the list is Louisiana. The state is famous for Mardi Gras, jazz, and incredible food, but residents face some of the toughest conditions in the country. Poverty is high, schools are underfunded, and healthcare access is strained. Perhaps most challenging is the vulnerability to natural disasters. Hurricanes and flooding are regular threats that disrupt lives, destroy homes, and take years to recover from. For locals, resilience is part of daily life, but the exhaustion from constant rebuilding is real. While Louisiana's culture is unmatched, many residents admit that the risks and hardships make it difficult to recommend their state to newcomers. At number 8, we have Missouri. Known as the Show Me State, Missouri offers history, culture, and affordability in some areas, but it faces persistent challenges. Violent crime rates in St. Louis and Kansas City are among the highest in the nation, creating serious concerns about safety. The state's economy has been slow to grow, and many residents feel frustrated by underinvestment in public services, including schools and healthcare. Political tensions and uneven economic opportunity leave locals divided, and many admit that despite Missouri's heritage and natural beauty, they would hesitate to recommend it as the best place to build a life. Number 7 is Alaska. The last frontier offers breathtaking scenery, adventure, and solitude. But those same qualities create obstacles. Life in Alaska is extremely expensive, as nearly everything must be shipped in, driving up the cost of food, fuel, and housing. Winters are long, dark, and harsh, which takes a toll on physical and mental health. While some thrive in the independence and natural beauty, many residents find the isolation and high costs overwhelming. As a result, locals often warn that Alaska is much harder to live in than visitors or outsiders imagine. At number 6 sits Hawaii. To the rest of the world, Hawaii is a dream vacation destination, but for locals, daily life is often defined by financial pressure. The cost of living is one of the highest in the world, with housing prices out of reach for most residents. Groceries and everyday goods are also extremely expensive since they must be imported. The job market is heavily tied to tourism, making the economy fragile. Many native residents feel they are being priced out of their own homeland. The islands remain beautiful, but locals often admit that living there is much more difficult than outsiders expect. In the 5th spot is Florida. Known for sunshine, beaches, and retirement communities, Florida's reality is more complicated. Hurricanes, tropical storms, and flooding create ongoing risks for homeowners and families. Insurance rates climb, recovery is costly, and the stress of natural disasters is constant. Population growth has also led to overcrowding, congested roads, and strained public services. While the lack of state income tax and warm weather attract newcomers, locals often describe the trade-offs as heavy. Many say that while it can be enjoyable, it is not necessarily the best state to recommend for long-term living. Number 4 is California. The Golden State has a global reputation for opportunity, innovation, and culture. But residents often see another side: extreme costs. Housing prices are among the highest in the country, making homeownership unattainable for many. Taxes are steep, gas and groceries are expensive, and the overall cost of living creates constant financial stress. While California remains attractive for those in technology, entertainment, or certain industries, many residents admit that the struggle to make ends meet outweighs the benefits, leading them to question whether it is worth recommending their state to others. In the 3rd position is Illinois. The state combines the vibrancy of Chicago with vast rural landscapes, but residents feel weighed down by economic stress. Taxes are high, public debt has long been a problem, and the uncertainty surrounding state budgets creates unease. Many Illinoisans have left the state in recent years, seeking lower costs elsewhere. Crime in Chicago also worries many, even as they celebrate the city's culture. The combination of high taxes, budget issues, and financial instability leads many residents to say that Illinois is not a place they would suggest to others. At number 2 is Tennessee. This state has grown quickly in recent years, with cities like Nashville and Memphis attracting new residents. But that rapid growth has brought problems. Infrastructure is struggling to keep up, traffic congestion is rising, and crime rates in major cities worry locals. Many longtime residents feel the relaxed character of Tennessee is being lost in the rush of new development. While newcomers may be drawn to the energy, locals often admit that the growing pains make life harder and less appealing, leaving them hesitant to recommend their state. And finally, at number 1, we arrive at Mississippi. It consistently ranks near the bottom in poverty, healthcare, education, and economic opportunity, making it the state where locals most often say they would not recommend living. It carries one of the heaviest burdens of daily struggle among all states. While Mississippi has cultural richness and proud communities, the overwhelming challenges of poverty, crime, and underfunded systems leave many residents feeling unable to recommend it to others. So here's the countdown, from 15 to 1, of the states where locals themselves are least likely to recommend living. Each has its own story, its own strengths and character, but also its struggles. These are not just numbers on a chart. They are the voices of people who know their homes best. And what they tell us is that the true measure of a place is not just found in economic statistics or slogans, but in the lived experiences of its people.